A little bit, but trust me, if she was fat, I would tell you.
Okay.
I'd call it right now. No, she looks good. How'd it go this week?
I didn't do as much as I'd like to practice a little bit, but she seems to be picking it up.
Okay.
You know, it's not 100% perfect, but
Okay.
if I like stop, she'll sit. I'll say heel when I say heel.
Okay.
You know.
All right, so we'll start with a quick review.
Okay.
Just to make sure that we're practicing everything correctly.
Please tell me this is like one you liked. Just like a really, like the 30 foot.
I don't like pink though.
But it wasn't. It didn't have to be the retractable one.
Correct, just a regular 30-foot leash, just like
I
that.
was like, that doesn't make sense. I also had before I forgot.
The prong?
Yeah.
Awesome, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, good.
There you go. So let's start with a quick review.
Okay.
And we'll go from there.
You just want me to walk back and forth?
Yeah, going to go over the heel and then the turns.
Okay. Good girl. All right, Winnie. Heel.
Lots of distractions coming in.
There we go.
And what's her number been?
Right now I have it on 20.
Okay. So I think last week we had
Shut up.
issues.
40.
Yeah, there was no connection. Keep forward, tap. Forward. Tap, 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 tap. Now turn. Tap, tap, tap. Tap, tap, tap. Let's go to bump. Let's go to 30. Pretty sure she wasn't feeling that.
Yeah.
And forward. You're good. You're good.
I'm sorry.
Tap, 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 tap. Tap, tap, forward, tap. Let's go to 40. Good. Tap, tap. Foot and turn. Tap, 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 tap. Keep forward. Go ahead and grab your collar and hit the vibrate function. Just test that thing's on.
Yeah.
It's vibrating?
Yeah.
Okay. So go ahead and tap, tap, tap. So here we don't have a connection, so I'm going to check the collar for you. This is the one drawback to the collar.
It doesn't have good connections.
Well, yeah, with the fur and everything, and then the puppy skin. I mean, you have it fitted well. So what I'll do here is let's pull that fat down. Good. Important for a bit.
She's like, you mean skin, not fat. Just teasing him.
Making her self-conscious. I have 4 Winnies on my calendar now.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I have another golden named Winnie.
Really?
Yeah, she's doing a boarding training in my facility. She's a little puppy.
Do you guys, like, for holidays, do boarding?
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
We do daycare boarding.
Do you do puppy day, like I could send her for like day and stuff?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, like Nash and Shadow come on occasion for daycare because we do transport as well.
Oh.
If needed.
Amazing. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll have to
But
remember
we
that.
do boarding, holiday boarding, daycare. We're actually doing Halloween photos, complimentary.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I told
Mr. Bill here will be taking the photos.
about she's gonna be a movie cow for Halloween.
Oh, really?
Farmers, yeah.
But yeah, if you need any information, I can have Maria just send you we just need her to be registered for the facility, like her shot records and stuff like that. And then once that's in, she'd find a
Yeah, absolutely.
And then we reinforce the training too. So if you send her with her stuff,
Yeah.
everything gets reinforced so she doesn't come home all like.
Yeah.
We'll do a little bit more. Oh, actually, so let's go back to that. Let's give a tap here. Tap, tap, tap. Let's go ahead and go to 50. Tap, tap. Yeah, so I can see the neck moving. Tap,
Okay.
tap. But you see how she's not phased?
Yeah.
Let's go 55. Tap, tap, tap. Right there. So that's perception right now. Okay, so that's not so much the working number. Let's go to 60. Tap, tap. There we go. A little bit more movement from her. Okay. So it could be two things. I think it's more so just a connection because I didn't see anything happen until you hit 50, 55 with the neck movement. So even if you're at 100, if nothing is contracting, there is no connection. Okay, it's on 100, you should see something.
Gotcha.
So here, as you work with her, this is what I call troubleshooting. It happens. It's a really good skill to develop. So what I would suggest is with Winnie, like don't assume like it's 20. Come out, stand still, look at her neck, right where that box is. 10, 15, 20, 25, and keep going up until you see her give you that movement.
Yeah.
Okay, you want that working number. And she then starts her walk.
Okay.
Now, as you work with her, if she get, like, let's say 20 minutes in, she yips. We got good connection now. I dip it down. I would go, if you're at 60, I'd probably go down to about 20, 25-ish.
Wow.
And try, because if she goes, that means she felt the full power of 60. Okay. Now, there's also the even though she's a puppy, there's also just her physical toughness. Okay, so breed, age, none of that matters. Some puppies can be super tough, and their numbers are 85. And the owner's looking at the dog so young. I'm like, yeah, but the dog's just very tough. You gotta remember, like, humans take 18 years to like grow and you know, develop. Dogs within a year, they're an adult, right? So they grow much faster. So just keep that in mind. So if you ever feel like she's being kind of bratty or not as responsive, that's probably why. Okay? So we'll do a little bit more.
Winnie, heel.
Okay. I'm gonna have you try that left turn 2 more times, okay? Okay, one more. Good, and then come to a stop. Good. So how did you feel about that first turn?
Probably didn't go slow enough.
Correct, right? You just went straight into it.
Yeah.
That's why that one was awkward.
Yeah.
Then the second one was better, but for the most part, you went straight into it. But since you had already done it once, she was more aware. The last one you did slow down, so that one was the smoothest.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's just try a couple of the pivots.
Okay. Winnie, heel.
Pivot. Couple more. Good pivot. And last one. Good. Excellent. Yeah. So everything looks good. It really is just a number. Okay.
Yes, good girl.
And with her loose skin and her thicker fur, it's most likely a big part of it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, she's just tougher than you think. Okay?
Yeah.
So what we'll do is we'll actually walk down. Look at that sunny spot over there.
Yeah.
And we'll do some recall.
Awesome. I meant to ask you too. I know, so like our word when we're like letting her sniff is like go ahead, and then to get her back
Sure.
to like okay, just stay heel.
Correct. Now, you would want her to be in your vicinity. Like I
Right,
wouldn't
like-
feel when she's like 20 feet away.
Okay.
Okay, that's where it's coming from.
Like it's like right here, and she's like
Heel.
okay.
Yeah, and then ideally, to make it easier. Because if they're on the right side, they won't get it in the beginning. Come around.
Right. They're used to this side.
Yeah. So I'll just keep it so they're on my left side when they start to feel to make it easier for them.
Hey.
Yep, turn. There you go. Yep. And relax. Good. Forward. Cap. Good. Keep forward. Turn. No, I'm sorry. You're good. Keep forward. Cap. Cap. Keep forward. Cap. Good.
Take a
Strong
lower a
quite a
little
bit.
bit. She was yelping.
Was she yipping?
Yeah.
So then what I go by, because I heard her yip,
Yeah.
but then she kept the other dog. doesn't always mean physical discipline. Okay. It can also be just frustration. So then there, when I turned around because I heard her, I saw her stop and still looking at the dog and still like stopping and stuff or forging ahead. So like let's say she's yipping, and you keep at the level, but she keeps going forward. Doesn't mean anything. Even though she's yipping, she's like, well, I still want to do this.
Oh, yeah, you see me nip it.
Correct. Okay. So what we're gonna do here is let's go ahead and get our long leash out.
Okay.
I can hold me.
It's like this is so long.
Yeah. Yeah, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna do both leashes. Now is this one, let's make sure it's not hanging up there. This is gonna get like spaghetti, get very messy. Okay, so we're actually gonna leave both leashes on her. I'm gonna have the short leash. Now this is very coordination heavy.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna give you all the instructions and don't worry about getting everything done all at once.
Okay.
As you start to practice it more and get the feel for it, it'll all kind of come together, okay?
Sure.
So the reason for the long leash here is so that we can recreate a more realistic context of when he's going to be at a distance of you, okay? So you can get, for the recall, realistically, like when he's going to be playing.
Yeah.
Okay, so this allows us to let her be free, but not worry about what happens if she tries to run away, because either we still have the leash or I have access to the leash, okay? So I'm gonna walk away with Winnie. I'm gonna hold her for you. The reason for the second leash here is because dogs will pick up on the pattern and she'll start to prematurely run towards you, okay, before you even call her. So this is why I keep her by my side so that we can continue practicing and repeating, okay? What you're gonna do is once we step off, you're gonna go to the end of your leash, and what I suggest is
like top?
yes. So, you right-handed or left-handed?
Left-handed.
You're left-handed. Okay. So then, what I would do. Let's see, what's my setup? Okay. So you would probably be reverse. So you hold the remote in your left hand.
Yes.
Okay. So what you're gonna do is, okay, move your leash over your left thumb. Okay. That's to lock it, and you're gonna keep the remote in your left hand. Correct. And what you're gonna do is with these fingers here, and then you have the leash over your right hand like this, is you're just gonna pull it back like that. Correct, okay? So here, when you're calling Winnie and she's, when you're getting Winnie to come to you, you're gonna be reeling in that leash, okay, to shorten it as she comes to you. Now, what you're gonna do, once you decide, okay, that's enough, you're gonna take your leash and go like this, and this. There you go, perfect, okay? That locks your leash, okay? So the reason why we do that is, let's say you stop your leash right there, right? Winnie's got approximately 15 to 20 feet of leash there. So if she keeps going, a lot of people hold it like this. She's gonna rip that leash right through your hand, okay? You're gonna get rope burn. When you hold your leash like this, that's called the trainer lock. I don't know if I showed you this before. With the short leash, this is the trainer lock. So even if a dog is like booking it and goes, and they might gank me a bit, but it shouldn't feed the leash through. Okay, if you got a good grip, it shouldn't feed the leash through. It should get taut and it'll stop her. Okay. Otherwise, if you hold it like this and she keeps going, I would just let this go because you have it over here. That locks your leash as well. Okay. Except she's going to have up to 30 feet to run and get momentum. Okay. So what we're gonna do is I'll be away with Winnie, you'll be at the end of your leash, okay? Then you're gonna put tension on your leash, like you said, where it's gonna be taut. So if this is the long leash, right there, you see how it's pulling on Winnie's neck? Okay, I would pull the leash right there, and I'm gonna time the remoting when I see this, and you'll feel it as well, okay, through the leash, and you'll start tapping, and then moving backwards, okay?
Do I want it tight all the time?
Until she starts to move towards you.
Oh,
okay, so the moment, so what you're doing is you're directing Winnie and tapping her, because you see how she's moving away here?
Yeah.
Right? Let me try it again, see if she does it. You see how she pulls to the left?
Yeah.
That's called opposition reflex, okay? When a dog feels tension, they want to go against it, which is why when dogs pull forward and people pull backward, it creates more pulling forwards.
So tap her
until she moves with the pressure, correct? Because we're teaching her, don't go against it, go with it. Once Winnie goes into the pressure, she should start moving towards you. You'll be walking backwards and reeling in that leash. Okay. Once you feel like Winnie is locked on and actively moving towards you, you'll stop and see what she does. If she comes all the way, good girl, praise, and then we'll just let her go and we're gonna repeat that, okay? If Winnie goes off the wrong way, you're gonna turn to face Winnie, start tapping again, move back the opposite way, okay? Once you see her moving towards you and at some point tension will kick in, you stop the tapping and you move back and stop once you feel like she's locked on, okay?
Sure.
There's no words yet. We're just teaching her how to do recall with the remote. We'll layer in the word a little bit later, okay? So the main things to remember right now are the tension and the tapping and the moving backwards, okay? And then we'll add in the other stuff because it's like you get the leash, you get the lock, you get all this stuff going on, okay? And you're gonna screw up, everybody screws up, don't worry about that. So I'm gonna go ahead and take Winnie here. And I'll have her come a little bit forward. Definitely come forward. That's good right there. I'm gonna take this out of her legs here. And girl, okay, go ahead and put some tension. And tap, 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 and back. Now reel in your leash. Tap, tap. There you go. Hold right there.
Yes, good girl.
We're at 60.
Yes.
Let's go down to 45.
Good girl, Winnie.
Break. I'll repeat that 4 more times. Here. Go ahead. Tap. Good.
Yes, good
Praise.
girl. Yes, good girl, Winnie. Good girl.
Give it a break.
Go ahead, Winnie.
What's she doing? Yep. Good, right there.
Yes, good girl, Winnie. Good girl. You're so smart.
Good, we did 2 more times.
Go ahead.
So you see how she's moving away from me? Because she's already catching on that whenever I walk with her. Trying to get her behind. Wait a moment. So that's why we had that second leash?
Yep.
Girl. Go ahead. Right. Good.
Yes, good girl. Yes. You're so good.
Good. We're going to do 1 more.
Go ahead.
And a girl. You got it. Now here, for this next one, I want you to make more pronounced steps backwards. Okay? So like really big steps.
Okay.
And then also the reeling in. You don't have to worry about getting it all down, but get as much as you can as you're moving back until she lands completely. And I'm gonna have you stay upright, okay? So the reason why I don't want you to crouch down is you're catching her. And I want her, if she's distracted, I want her to have the ability to keep going so that we can correct that, so that she learns the direct recall. Because if you're down here and you're catching her, it's like half-half. It's half her, but then half you actually stopping her. And we want it to be all her, okay? When you're ready. Good, big step. That's good right there. Turn, face her back, tap, backwards. 1, 2, that's good right there. Great. So you see how that was different?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
When you gave her the ability to pass you up, she overshot it. And that's what you want to correct, okay?
ahead, Winnie.
Try a couple more with those adjustments.
Sure.
And then we'll move on to the next. Good. Big step. That's good. That's okay. Yep. Wait. And praise.
Yes, good girl.
That was good.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Good. Now back, tap. Oh, there you go. Back. There you go. I'll hold right there. Good. Good move. So right there, you see how she just popped it out your hand, right?
Yes.
That's why we had that second, that thumb there to lock her. And also with the not catching, allowing her to make those mistakes so we can get all that stuff out of the way. Okay, very good. Now what we do is same process, except now we're going to remove the pulling. Okay, so you're actually going to start with tapping first.
Okay, still done at 45?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'll have you come a little bit forward. So we're going to start the tapping first. If she doesn't respond by that second or third tap, then you're going to start pulling, okay?
Okay.
A little bit more forward. There we go. She's getting a little excited now. 1 second.
So just tap it.
Yeah, so first you're going to start with the tapping, tap,
Okay.
tap, tap, tap. Now the pull, tap. Now back. 1, 2, that's good. Turn, tap, tap, back. Good. Tap back, move back, tap, back tap, pull, pull, pull. Yep, pull, pull, pull. Keep pulling, keep pulling. There she goes, right there. And praise.
Yes, good girl. Good girl, Winnie. Good girl.
So when you're reeling that leash back, if you can, you're just throwing it on the ground. Okay? Just so you can get as much short. Because right there she had like a 20-foot line.
Yeah.
And that's why she's got so much momentum, right? So when you're shortening it like that, you know, maybe she only has 10 feet of line and it's not as impactful where you have to let it go and you're able to catch her. So what I do is when I'm throwing it, it's not wrapped around my finger. It's just over my hand. I just throw it down, and then once I feel like it's good, I'll just shorten it. But by throwing it on the ground, it's faster. Makes sense?
Okay.
Yeah, the leash, just throwing it down. Yeah, don't worry, because some people try to roll it up, and when you roll it up, it gets really messy or it takes too long, and then we end up with that problem where they can overshoot it really far. Yeah. Okay, so we'll try that again.
Okay.
But I can already see her. Hey, you. Okay, go ahead. I can already see her when you began tapping. She was already like, I need to go. Yeah, exactly. That's good. You ready? Yeah. Right. Good. Back. There you go. Better.
Yes,
Great.
good girl. Good girl, Winnie.
I think she was so fast she caught you off guard. Like she went from over there to here in a split second.
It's like, whoa.
Yeah.
I do not want to get shot.
Come on.
Just remind me how I do this.
Oh, so it's gonna be
You can do it on your left hand.
and then I keep it like this, flat over.
Yep.
The other way. Yeah, like that. And then with these fingers, these three,
Yeah, got it. Like
you're
this.
just throwing it down. Yeah, just throw it down.
Okay.
There you go. Okay. And then once you're ready, then you do the wrap like that.
Yeah.
Because if you try to feed it through as it's wrapped over your finger, it causes friction, which slows it down. But if it's just over your hand, you can just toss it down and then just move your hand around to lock it. Okay? It takes practice. You're going to learn it, and then after a few weeks, whatever, and actually use it because she's going to know where you go. Yeah, good back. 1, 2, better, much better.
Good girl, Winnie. Good girl. You're so smart.
Good. 2 more. I know.
Go ahead.
Tapping? Oh, you're fine. Go ahead. Back. There you go. Wait, right there. Good. And brace.
Yes, good girl. Winnie, you're so smart. Go ahead, Winnie.
Ready? Yep, now back. 1, 2, 3, that's good. There we go, and brace.
Good girl. Good girl, Winnie. You're so smart.
Good, now let's try this. Keep the leash in your left hand, like you have it, and then go into heel position. There you go, and just say heel and walk towards me.
Heel.
Tap forward. There you go, just slow little stop. Very good. So, what we're doing here,
Hey.
yep, go to, there you go, pivot. What we're doing here is we're teaching Winnie the foundation for the recall, okay? The way that we're practicing this is not realistic, just so you know, okay? Like, no one's gonna be sitting there with your dog saying, okay, go in and call her, tap, and then, keep her short leash, and then we'll keep her in that sitting position. There we go. Like that, very good. You know, she's not gonna be with someone waiting for you to call her, right?
Yeah.
She's gonna be playing with her friends, she'll be running around, chasing something. But what we're doing is we're layering in that foundation to get to that point. Tap. Lightly pull to your left side and tap. So stay where you're at and use your leash to pull her, short leash to pull her to your left. Yeah. Yep. In front. There you go. That's fine. Good. So we're just being consistent here because you didn't give her permission to leave. Now I don't need her to be perfect, but that's really good. So if she would have landed on your left and was like looking that way, I personally wouldn't care. But just being sure that we're not allowing her to be distracted like that. Okay. So when I work with couples or families, I'll tell them to do this just so that they can get the reps in, so that the dog learns the concept. Okay. So a dog's first instinct typically with e-collar, of course, is to run away, and we're conditioning her like, hey, when you feel this, you know, for 2 weeks it was the heel, now it's over here. Okay. So we had that long leash, so in case she decided like, I don't know what to do, I'm going to try to run away, she can't, and we can direct her back to you.
Yeah.
That tension in the beginning was very important because that's what they was telling her. If you move into this direction, this will go away. Okay, so that's the other reason why we had this long leash. Okay, and also for things like that where she like overshot it, you know. So if you're completely without anything, she would have just kept going. Okay, so this process, recall tends to take people the longest to teach. Okay, now you're by Travis, right?
Yeah.
So for you, it's very convenient.
Yeah.
Because that's what actually makes it harder for people is that they have to go somewhere to practice. So they have to like get their dog and all that, and they don't have the ability to do that 3 times a day. So heel, is the one command that people tend to teach the fastest because everybody walks their dogs.
Yeah.
Okay, at least 3 times a day if you're in the city. But for the recall, if they don't have access to a space like this, it's usually what takes the longest. Okay. Now, there are a number of phases to this. I stress to everybody, always take the time to practice the recall. Okay. Don't try to. I know heel is very quick, but because you do it every day, recall takes longer. Okay. Because the last thing you want is for Winnie to be off leash, and then you're calling her and she's not responding, or you've not proofed it, and those are all things that would be bad. Okay, so if you don't have distractions to work with, this is how I practice. Okay, because it allows you to keep repeating. As you saw, like she started to get the concept and go like, uh-oh, kind of jumping around. That's why we had that second leash, because we want to make sure that she's coming when we actually call her, okay, or remote her. Now to practice this realistically, in the beginning what I suggest is, does she have prey drive? Like she likes squirrels, rabbits, or anything like that?
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit? Okay. So like let's say you came here, right? And there was like a squirrel in that tree there. I would put Winnie on the long leash, give her permission to be free, hold on to the end of the leash, tell her about the squirrels, get her distracted, right? And then like maybe she's having fun and jumping and chasing and running around the tree and stuff, and then I'm over here. And then once I feel like she's had a good amount of time, when you come, and I call her back, but I'm calling her off the distraction.
Oh, so you even say like when you come?
Correct, yeah, we're gonna start using the words after I finish this little description here, is I like to use my environment. And it's easier like if you're working with squirrels or rabbits or like maybe a single dog or two. If you try to do this during group play, it'd be very difficult because you would still need the long leash at this stage. Okay, the long leash is for a little bit. Correct.
Yeah.
So if you're working with a single dog, easier for you to hold the end and all that stuff. Otherwise, if it's a lot of dogs, I don't worry about it. And if she's playing with like a bunch of dogs, I wouldn't do the recall now. Instead, I just go and I grab her. Okay, because you're more than likely not going to get the recall at this stage. Okay, because you have to build to that. Because this is very different with me holding the leash and standing still to running around with 4 or 5 other dogs playing. Okay, squirrels are nice because it's a distraction, but it's an isolated thing that she's not going to get tangled up, or other dogs are going to get tangled up. So I use that to my advantage as much as possible. If she likes playing like with humans and stuff, you can even use that. Right, because you can tell the human like, hey, just keep on the outside, so the leash is here and Winnie is here, so they don't get tangled up, right? And they're running with Winnie and they're playing chase and they're pushing her, roughhousing a bit. Winnie, come, right? And then you build to when she's playing with 1 or 2 dogs, then 2 to 3 dogs, then 2 to 4 dogs. So eventually it's like, okay, Winnie, when I call you, it doesn't matter what it is, I know you're gonna come. Okay, so it's all a process. Questions so far?
No, that makes sense.
So. Now we're going to start adding the word. Everything stays the same, okay? It's going to be Winnie come, and then always at this stage, tap at least once. Okay, Winnie come, tap, okay? If you see Winnie deflect, you're going to keep tapping, you're not going to say come again, you're just going to move backwards, okay? If you say Winnie come, tap, and she starts running to you, you don't need to do anything, you just move back. After 3 steps, you can stop. Okay. The reason why we do Winnie come tap always right now, because if she responds to you, you can go like, oh great, the dog's coming. Like, no, we have to prove it.
Yeah.
Is if I'm Winnie and you call me and she turns and you tap after she's turned, what do you think might happen?
She might. If you call her and she comes towards you.
And then you tap.
Oh, she'll turn away?
Yeah. Because she's going to think, don't do that.
Yeah.
Because you gave a command, she responded, and you came in too late.
Oh.
So she thinks like, oh.
So it needs to be like when you come tap.
Correct, like immediately.
Okay.
Now, if the delay happens, it's okay. This is what I was talking about proofing. So if I do tap her and she's like, and runs off, you keep remoting and you're just telling her, no. Tap never means run away, okay? But at this stage, you know, if you remove the e-collar too soon, it doesn't allow you to force that fusion, okay?
Gotcha.
And we want to force it now because she's on a long leash still, okay? So I'm not a big fan of like when dogs do really well with the recall, and the owner's like, yeah, the dog always just comes, and like, you know, there's never this runaway. I'm like, it's good, but it's bad in the sense of if you ever have to remote your dog after the recall, you risk confusing them and making them run off, which is obviously not what we want them to do. So at this stage, always Winnie, come tap, and don't worry about correct timing, because I want you to make the mistake and tap too late so that we can proof all this.
Sure.
Okay? So everything stays the same except now we're going to have that verbal cue.
Okay.
Questions?
No.
All right, so take Winnie. Okay, great. Go ahead.
Winnie, come tap.
How about you just let me know?
I did tap.
Tap. Keep back. There you go. Right there. Keep back.
Hey.
Reel it in.
Cool.
Reel it in. Yep. Keep going. Right there.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Wait right there. Good.
Thank you.
Yes, girl.
I'll be around town.
Yeah.
I'll see you.
So the moment you see Winnie shoot off, pivot the facer and reverse the other way. Okay? And also never move in. So you move back and then you did this.
Oh.
Okay? We always want to do backwards because forwards will push them away.
Ah.
Okay? So always backwards to draw them in. Okay?
Alright, go ahead.
Winnie, come back. It's your name.
Winnie, come.
There you go. Back. 1, 2, that's good. And praise.
Yes,
Girl.
Good girl. Good girl, Winnie. She's so good. Let's get that daddy. Winnie, come.
Good. Back. 1, 2, right there. Good.
So smart, Winnie. Go ahead. Winnie, come.
There you go. Good. Excellent. Back tap, back tap. Good job. Keep back, keep back, keep back. Good. Right there. There we go.
Yes, good girl.
One more. That was a good one.
Good girl. Play. Go play. Go ahead. Winnie, come.
Good. Perfect.
Good girl, Winnie. So smart.
Good. Go ahead and put her in that heel position. There you go. Heel forward.
Heel.
Good. And slow to stop. It's a little bit behind. That's okay for now. Okay. So, very good. So you can see right when you're saying Winnie, she's already pivoting around and running to you. So all that's really good. Okay. So the reason why that moving back is so important is typically when clients tell me like my dog doesn't come and I call them and they tell me how they practice, they'll like be at the dog park, they'll call their dog, but they're standing still. So they end up getting the dog's attention. The dog looks at them and goes like, what's going on, whatever. Goes back to what they're doing. But then they'll say like, but when I go to leave the dog park, then my dog comes. Because they're afraid I'm going to leave them. I'm like, it's not that your dog's afraid that you're going to leave them. It's that now you're moving. And the movement is what attracts them. Okay, so, and this is forever. Okay, so to this day, when I call my dogs, you'll see me do at least 3 steps back. Okay, always at least 3. So like, let's say you're in an environment where it's very loud and you call Winnie, she can't hear you, and you tap her and she knows to look for you and she sees you doing this, that's her visual of, oh, I need to return back to mom. Okay, so it's always Winnie come and that movement back, okay, with that Winnie come tap and then walking backwards all at once. Okay, once you've hit 3 steps and you feel like she's locked on, you're good. You don't need to keep moving backwards, but if she should overshoot it, you'd start moving back and tapping until you see her moving towards you, and then you can come to that stop. Okay, moving away, tapping. Oh, I don't care where the dog lands. Okay, I just want them in my immediate space. Okay, so like right there is good. Yeah. So within 2 to 3 feet.
Gotcha.
Right, left, front, back, between my legs, I don't care.
Sure.
But here.
Yes.
If Winnie were to land over there, a lot of people come in and they go, good girl. But don't do that, because what happens is she'll learn that she can get away with this, and then she'll start to recall and look like she's going to stop, boom, and just go again. Okay. We want her to come to us as directly as possible. And she's got really good speed. So if she overshoots, your instinct should always be to pivot to see what she's doing. But if you see her already coming around, it's fine. Then I just wait and let her land. Okay. Let me think here. Questions so far?
No, sorry.
Oh, if you go to practice by yourself with the long leash, don't drill it a lot. Okay, so let's say you go to Travis and you're going to be there for 20 minutes. Yes. I might just call her 2 times.
Oh, okay.
So
not a lot at all.
Right, because when you're by yourself, if you call her too much, it's going to make her paranoid. She's not going to want to leave. Okay, that's why if you work with your husband or a second person, you can force it because someone can grab her and walk away. Right. But if you go to Travis and you call her every time, if you go there like 20 times, she's not going to leave herself. So I randomize it. Yes, I randomize it. So like I might do 2 times, tomorrow, and the next day 5 times, the next day 1 time. And sometimes I'll go, if I see the dog being a little too wary, I'll go to the park and let them be loose and hold the end of the leash, and instead of calling them, I'll just reel them in and then walk home. Okay. So I avoid it, okay? Because you're trying to balance out the control with the comfort, because if you recall too much, she wants to avoid the tap. She's like, you know what, I'll just stay next to you. I'll avoid the problem, right? Yeah. But you want the comfort of, no, you can do what you want. Just when I call you, just come back here. If you use distractions like squirrels and you call her from it and she does good, I like to wait a moment, see if she's going to prematurely run back to do that, engage. And then I'll go, okay, you can go ahead. And then allow her back to the squirrels again. So then she's learning like, oh, okay, cool. Like if I'm playing with the squirrels or whatever, I'll get called back, I return, and I might get permission to go back to it again. Okay, so you can use the distraction as the reward if there's enough drive there, or if like let's say you have someone to help like kind of play with her and engage with her a bit, and then you call her, she comes back, and they go, okay, break, and send her right back to go play again. Okay, so yeah, you're just trying to randomize it so she doesn't get paranoid. If you're working with the second person, in those scenarios you can drill it because they have the leash to keep her at their side. Okay. Questions?
No, that makes sense. Yeah.
So then I had you do heel with her. So with the e-collar, you get up to off-leash level obedience, and that's with all the commands, right? So right there, you popped her in the heel, and she actually did good. She's at your side. When you stopped, she was a little bit delayed. So like if you want to start advancing her heel, when you do your recalls, you would just simply, hold the end of your leash, tell her heel, but now she's got a 15 to 30 foot slack, to practice with. So if she starts to run off and make a mistake, you correct it the same way by turning around and backing, but now you can get up to 30 feet away from her if she's going the wrong way.
Oh, right.
Now, I would be very mindful of this collar because it is that snap buckle is a couple of times when she hit, when she took off and hit that tension, My concern is just that it would crack that buckle because of all the momentum. Okay, and I've had snap buckles break.
Remind me which ones you like.
I call them flat buckles. They're like these.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
where it
this-
has
this-
the
yeah,
like
exactly.
a belt.
You could do those. You could do a martingale. You know, they don't slip over. But or a slip chain, which it's just if she tries, she technically shouldn't be able to pull out of it if she's fitted correctly, and it just flips over the dog's head. People call it the choke chain. I call it a slip chain because back in the day they would use it to choke dogs out for training. For me, it's similar to a martingale because the dog can't slip out of it if it's fitted correctly. It also does act as a correction in the sense that when she hit the end of her leash there, you heard how she yipped a couple of times?
Yeah.
It's all the momentum. So she's running and she hits, right? And she hits the end of it, so it corrects her. So then she learns, like, oh crap, don't want to do that again. But that's another thing you can do. So you can do a flat buckle, you can do a martingale, or you can do a slip chain. And then those are all much better than this one. Because my only concern would be as she gets bigger or during training, if she hits the end of the leash and then cracks that buckle, that snap buckle.
Point of no return.
Because of momentum, yeah. Okay. Other questions?
No, that makes sense.
So this week, now you're just adding this to your homework.
Okay.
So if you walk with Winnie for like 20 minutes, I might do a 10-minute walk and end with like a 10-minute session to do a little bit of recall at Trevis. Bring that long leash with you. Remember, you don't want to collar right now if you don't have the means to make a return. Okay, so don't try to do e-collar, Trevis, no leash.
Oh gosh. No.
Right. You want to do the do the homework. You want to drill it out. You want to practice.
Yeah.
If you're at Trevis and she's playing and you need her, I suggest you ignore calling her. Just go and grab her. Okay. I'm trying to avoid the scenario of you call Winnie and she decides not to do it, and now you can't reinforce it. Well, you could with the e-collar, but we're not far along yet. Yeah. Because then she'll become a gambler and think to herself like, does mom have the capacity to actually make me come back?
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
Anything else?
No, that's good. Good girl, Winnie.
Yeah, she did really good. She's doing good with the heel. The recall looked good. She has very good speed. Everything that I like to see.
What is she doing? She's like yawning right there. Is she just like excited or?
The yawn, I think it was just a yawn.
Oh.
I mean, there's stress yawns, but I don't think she's stressed. She looks pretty chill.